In today's Daily Dish, a few features have been returned to NHL 15, but it's hardly anything to get excited about. A new feature update has been delivered for the golf club with numerous improvements and additions for the game. Previewing the 6-hour live stream planned for Thursday of NBA Live 15, and a recap of the latest Press Row Hangout and preview of Friday's new Press Row podcast. The promised October patch for NHL 15 has arrived, and with it basic online team play and an actual draft for Be a GM mode. And boy, EA sure seems proud of themselves for it, with one producer exclaiming on Twitter that it was the greatest day in the history of the EA NHL franchise. That kind of stuff isn't doing EA any favors as they try and recover from the disaster they created with NHL 15. Released as basically half a game for the same $60, NHL 15 alienated not only the hardcore fans of the series, because favorite modes and features were gone, but casual ones as well that couldn't miss noticing the lack of content. Reviews took a huge hit. It's just a 60 on Metacritic, and sales are down by what could be as much as 40% from what I've heard. So when EA adds back in some of the stuff people expected there to be in the game in the first place, they really shouldn't be bragging about it. The online team play doesn't even let you control goalies. It's only NHL players. And the worst part? You can't play with friends. Yeah, seriously. The only way to play is joining in with randoms and ranked games. And as far as the draft for Be a GM goes, congratulations, you now have a draft rather than a simulation of it. That it was missing to begin with is a complete embarrassment in itself. It's unclear just how much EA plans to support NHL 15 beyond this point. I couldn't blame them for shifting all resources to NHL 16, since the fate of the series may rest on that release. Can they bring back in enough of the people they lost this year? It's a harder feat to achieve than most might imagine. At the very least, they need a critical hit. NHL is not sustainable at the current sales levels unless Hockey Ultimate Team blows up, but it's not nearly as successful as those modes found in Madden and FIFA. Check out all the details on the new patch for NHL 15 at Pastapadre.com. You can find the link in the YouTube description or the Daily Dish posting on the site. The golf club isn't an annual title. It doesn't have a license or season to concern itself with, and not relying on being front-loaded means sales can continue to trickle in even as HB Studios updates the game and adds value. That it's a digital download and a pricey $35 one at that does limit its reach, especially over the holiday season, where it's not as easily given as a gift, but it's positioned well for the next couple months otherwise. Today a feature patch went out for the golf club on Xbox One and PS4. It's a fairly significant update to the game that carries with it a number of improvements and additions. The golf club has been received fairly well, however its value proposition and some deficiencies in using a controller versus a mouse, for instance, are evident. It's a punishing game that doesn't teach you how to play, but the fundamentals are still familiar. For those looking for a pure golf game, it's definitely worth at least considering. Last year, hundreds of people joined me in experiencing NBA Live 14 on its release day in a live stream that went on for over 6 hours. This Thursday, get your first look at NBA Live 15 the same way. I'll begin streaming at around 11 a.m. Pacific time, or whenever the download finishes, and I plan to roll with it for all 6 hours of the EA Access period. Possibly consecutively, unless a short break is taken at some point in there. Make sure to follow me by subscribing on the Twitch page at twitch.tv/Pastapadre. The stream will also be posted to Pastapadre.com on Thursday. If you missed it over the last few days, make sure to watch the latest Press Row Hangout, where the panel discusses the future of gaming as far as digital and always online goes, along with several other topics in the show, which runs for over an hour and a half. Also, look for a brand new Press Row podcast on Friday, where the topics will include continued thoughts on NBA 2K15, whether online leagues are essentially dead for good in sports gaming, and first NBA Live 15 impressions. Head over to Pastapadre.com for the latest sports gaming news and analysis, updated every day. Follow me on Twitter at Pastapadre, and subscribe on YouTube. I'll be back tomorrow with the next Daily Dish.